what I talked about last night and also talk about a few other things because I think just everything can be included in the same discussion. So, let me get music going first or whatever. Let me go to Pandora so I don't feel like hearing commercials. Okay, so I talked about how there's people that are missing in the science community and the UFO community, not just missing, but they're also killing themselves or dying. 11 within from 2023 to April 20th, 2026. And it's just weird that apparently people that have access to or have knowledge regarding secret information, they're saying top secret in some cases, and I guess just discoveries maybe regarding the UFO, UAP, and alien phenomena. Um, Let me see. So the one that has everyone's attention, the most recent one, is David Wilcock on April 20th, 2026. He apparently shot himself in the head after an emergency call to um, what did he? Oh, to 9/11 about um, he's having health issues and struggling financially. He's all out of money. And anyways, apparently he kills himself. So they show up or something, and he was told to drop. He just said the cop said drop it. The Nazi said drop it, and he didn't drop it. He just shot himself right after that. And they did find a suicide note and all this stuff. Well, um, it started to get into because he's one that died or is dead, but there's others that are missing, and we don't people don't know if they're alive or dead, and it's reached the Pentagon at this point. They're starting to investigate where are these top scientists going, what's happening to them. Are they getting abducted? Is some people's theory, or is there a group out there, a troll group, whatever, an anti maybe alien group that is or then the other thing is some of the aliens apparently are wanting people to worship them, and some of these scientists are worshiping what a lot of everyone else is worshiping, which is some Bethlehem something. I don't want to put a name on anything, but some other book of law, and and a being or whatever. It's not the reptilians, but there could be a group out there going. The reptilian said we're supposed to be worshiping them, and you're worshiping someone else. So let's eliminate you. And the other thing was Greys and reptilians apparently don't like people talking about them. So if there's potentially a group out there, a group of people that are worshiping aliens, other life forms or whatever, then I would be probably concerned as a species that they're prioritizing some other existence over our own, especially when the ones that are being worshipped are saying things like uh, they like negative energies, fear. When people feel fear, they get energized, and when people are enduring death, they get energized, and all this stuff. So it's like these species want the humans or whatever to become weak, and they're convincing just a few motherfuckers that, all right, if you move forward with this, you're only going to live to be 100 maybe. Well, during that 100, you can be powerful amongst these weak people until we move in, until we're ready to habitat the population. You're going to be the one powerful one amongst the weak people. What's the point of being powerful if everyone is weak? And you know what I'm saying? Who would want to be existing in some weak lifestyle when the other option is make everybody powerful, and you can also be powerful amongst people that are powerful. You know what I'm saying? You can still be more powerful than them. No one said you can't be. Um, you got to be equal. So if everyone is powerful and you are the most powerful one or one of the powerful ones, then doesn't that sound more ideal? Sounds like you're more powerful. Why anyone would choose weak is something I don't think I'll ever understand or figure out. Why would anyone go, here's the options. You can be powerful or you can be weak. And they're convinced into, I don't know, or just choosing to be a part of something that's weak. Obviously, if they can't do something on their own without you worshiping them, then um, I would say that's evidence right there that they're not as powerful as the species because it requires you and others apparently to psychically gift energy and continue to do things that are going to gift these beings energy at the expense of what they're saying is weak, which is apparently a human. Um, I don't know, you guys. Um, that should be indicating right there that I'd rather align myself with the humans because apparently the humans are the ones with the power and the aliens are the ones requiring the power. So, what sounds more powerful? The thing that has the power or the thing that's low on energy and continues to require the siphon of energy? And then on top of it, I'm already a human, so why would I not be down with supporting the species? It's another thing that doesn't make sense. So then I wonder if these groups of people are even people. Are they cloaked? Are they maybe a part of the a reptilian that looks more similar, like an earlier reptilian form that looks a little similar to the species, but is not actually human? Um, are they possessed mentally? Is this worshiping of them, giving them some sort of mental connection, and then the alien is controlling the body like a drone and something like that? I guess. Oh, that was the other thing is in the past, um, people didn't have the same words available. And so they were calling the reptilians something different, but now people are calling them draconians. And then before or around the time, I don't know, maybe just sometime in between that, there was people that were calling them demons because sometimes the reptilians can cloak themselves to look like a shadow, just like a chameleon can change its skin color and blend in or whatever. I guess the reptilians have some ability to cloak themselves in whatever way. If they're wearing something, I don't know. If it's just their natural skin, I also don't know. I just know that that's what everyone says is they can camouflage themselves and they look like a shadow. Well, the people in the past were saying these shadow beings or whatever, uh, dark figures and stuff, and describing them as the word that was available at the time, which was demon, something that has negative intentions towards their continued survival. And so that's where some of these people get dragged into those book of laws that are using the words demon to describe this stuff. I think it's a little bit off track. It's just um, you don't need the rest of the book. You can just hear about okay, they were experiencing some other life form in this time period also, and then you go to before that. yes, this the humans were experiencing some sort of other life form in this time also. Now we're to this day. Yes, people are still experiencing some other fucking life form, and the age limit of what they are, no one has ever said like a specific age limit. Just that the reptilians live thousands of years, and then some people have said tens of thousands of years. I've heard that the Greys live like, I think I want to say it was like hundreds of thousands of years to a million. But the thing with the Greys that I've heard is they're not a repopulating species. That they, uh, the point that we're seeing them at is the point where their numbers are completed. You know what I mean? They can't reproduce anymore. Whatever happened, I'm not sure if they all became one thing, all just male or all female, whatever you want to call it. And but there's the limited number that's left over. But at the same time, the Greys have a longer lifespan than I think any of the other life forms that we know about. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if any of this is true actually, but these are just the things that I've heard and read and whatever over the years. So, um, so when one dies, that was what I was gonna say too. Is when one of the aliens dies, it's a big ordeal for them because with us, it's a big ordeal, and you're living to be 100 years old. Well, when you're living to be 100,000 years old, and you lose someone that to us they sound old, 1,000, but they were supposed to live 99 more thousands, and who knows if it's more than that. So, um, that's why I think they don't really like getting into wars, is because if you lose one, then it affects their whole species like big time. And then I started thinking about that, how we live to be like 100, we'll say, and um, is that on their mind that, oh, they're only going to be living to be 100 years old, so who cares if we abduct one or a few, and then it turns into, well, now thousands of people are missing, and people aren't sure if humans are involved with the human trafficking, or maybe aliens are themselves abducting the missing children, missing people. And then there's other people, like I just mentioned, that are considering, are the aliens possessing the minds of people? Are they manipulating people into a certain state of mind? And what I would like to bring up is there's cabin fever could be one thing that you get manipulated into. Another thing could be sleep deprivation. So if something's making noise outside when you're trying to fall the fuck asleep, and over time you get sleep deprived, you're going to be in a different state of mind, a different mood. Um, Maybe they give you a nightmare. You know what I'm saying? Things like that intentionally give you nightmare, not nightmare like you watched it and you just spooked yourself or something like that, but an induced nightmare that, okay, he fell asleep, now let me fucking make creepy noises right next to his fucking ear or some shit like that. um, or make noise outside and it's going to sound like footsteps in his dream. And so things like that, I would say, is that a possession of the mind? What do people mean when they say the mind is possessed? Can certain circumstances be manipulated that get people into the state of mind that they want, which is a weaker state of mind, because now you're sleep deprived on your energy. You're going to be in a more angry state of mind. You're probably going to have all the emotions endured that they want, that they're saying they feed on. People are saying they feed on all these negative emotions and arguments, and um, probably being lonely is something one. If you don't like being alone, they'll feed on that. But cabin fever, I was also thinking, how could this alien Ancient Aliens guy have financial issues, and he also has this big log, not cabin, but a home out on what looks like acreage. Pretty nice home. Like, can't he rent it out? Can't he sell it? How could he be in a financial bind? And then he has all this other stuff too, not just Ancient Aliens, but he's got like 2 YouTube channels, a book that he wrote, a movie. So I'm not sure what happened, but he was also only on YouTube. I don't know why people don't stream on their X also. They should probably multi-stream. At that point, I think there was probably a lot of people that would have been into some of the stuff he was saying if he was on X, but I think he was on the Truth Social, and I'm not sure about the videos with that one. I haven't heard too much about like live streaming there. I think it's more comments, but Instagram's kind of different. But X and YouTube, he could have done another platform. So it just sounds suspicious that and I already said on my X live that he talked about how he was getting trolled by some people. And if you look on his latest video, in the description section of the video, you scroll down to the bottom and it talks about how someone was pretending to be him and talk privately and they were requesting money. He says that's not him. Someone was impersonating him and was asking for money. That's not him. Then or selling some of his product. I don't know. He was getting trolled in 2 ways where people were looking and trying to be like they're him and ask money for it. So I don't know if that got him to lose subscribers potentially, if people did believe it, but he did mention it. And then there was one more thing that he put at the bottom, that, oh, if you want to speak with him, you got to just leave a comment in the live chat and he'll see your comment. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the last video was pretty much Christ based, and it seems like he was pretty heavy into the Christ aspect of life. And he was talking about Trump had posted some photo of, I don't know, there was some photo that everyone was talking about. He was talking about that. Someone on his live stream did say, "Oh, you support 47. I'm gonna unsubscribe." So, and he saw it. I don't know if, like, politically, maybe he was secluded because I think there's a lot of people that are not into any discussion regarding politics, and there's a lot of people that are opposed. There's very, very few people that are going to agree on everything. So anyone that's getting politically involved with their discussions, it's a little bit off topic, but with this one, I know it does regard like releases and things like that. So sometimes it gets dragged in. But for most people out there, I want you to know it's not, just because someone is the government doesn't mean they're the ones with the information. And just because someone's extremely smart, whatever, works at NASA, and that doesn't mean that they have the information. People that are private citizens are the ones that have the information, and a lot of times it then gets reported to the government. Sometimes people in the government will witness things, but the things that are occurring are just all over the planet. So the odds that a government person is going to witness every single experience is not likely. So when you continue to ask someone, "Oh, well, tell me the information, tell me the information," they only have mostly what other people have reported. A lot of the reports that and information the government has is not the government that discovered any of it. And then Area 51 too. I know that's funded. They call it the black budget. So the government does give money to the location, but the government does not have any access to any of the information in the location. Only the people that work there have access to it. Well, just like Bob Lazar, the people that work at these locations doing the jobs, not the protecting of the location, but working at the location and as a scientist, is just private individuals. It's just private people, and they happen to be getting paid by the government, but the government doesn't have any access to what they're discovering, what they're working on. They don't even have access to the amount that's being spent. They just have to give a specific amount, and you don't have access to anything that's being spent because everything can be traced back. Okay, they're buying this, they're buying that. It's that level of secrecy that you got. They just request an amount, and no one knows what it's being spent on. So it is partially their paycheck, but sometimes it's all this and that. You know what I mean? Um, Probably got to develop their own energy to get some things going and all that shit. Can't just run wiring to power whatever they have, and so it goes and gets into things like that. Well, we just need this little thing, but to get this little thing going, we got to build a this and that energy system because we need additional energy. And so who works at these locations? It's not always someone that is the one, oh, they're interviewing aliens or they're speaking with aliens or they're looking at a aircraft. Sometimes it's a motherfucking welder. Someone needs to weld the stuff together. Sometimes it's a doctor, physicians. Um, they had something at that location regarding cabin fever, saying that we need something out here. This is why I guess they have their own bar, they have a restaurant, they have housing now, and then they also have a baseball field. And they said they had to put all that stuff in there because people were getting cabin fever, and they don't want everyone leaving the location all the time. But they were able to start moving people's family out there with them, and then it's almost like a city or something now. So pretty much, I don't think people need to be demanding that the government release stuff or even bring it up in the topics, because it's not the only time you're going to see things that are that's actually the government's footage is some military footage is released, and the military footage is just going to be typical fucking black and white. Everything looks spooky. It doesn't look like Bahama water. It looks like some gray black liquid and then a little white speck. The only difference is they have the altitude, the speed, and all this stuff. Everyone else has what looks like better video. So what do you want to see? Do you want to trust someone that we've been told do not trust these people, or you got people that are putting stuff out on the internet that they captured, and you can go, oh, maybe it's fake, maybe it's this and that. Same thing goes with them. Maybe theirs is fake. How hard is it to put a black screen with waves and a dot? So you're seeing how much can be done with all the superhero movies and everything. It can't really be that hard, and so anyone could say that about any video. And then the fake ones, what I like to do with the fake ones is, let me imagine, why would someone be putting out a video that's fake? And some of them, I imagine someone wants to put out what they saw, but they didn't capture it on video. But here, let me show you guys what I saw. Here's how I responded and all this stuff. And they're doing like that's why some can feel fake, but maybe it's real because all they're sharing is something that they saw. Here's the best they can do. And then you have the other ones that are just out there to put something fake out there and what's their intention. Some of those people, I think, are the ones that are trying to cover up the fact that that there's aliens, and whether they're Bethlehem or worshiping an alien and whatever, I don't know. And then the other thing is, I wonder if some of the videos are like an alien communicating, here's what we look like. Someone saw this in their, someone might not know. Well, I just wanted to put up the alien video. I thought it was fun to make. Where did they get this idea from? Did it come from a dream? Did they sit there and think up, here's what I'm going to put out? And so sometimes I wonder if an alien is giving them a dream, or if they're fucking communicating with them mentally. And here's what the planet looks like that you're going to be releasing an AI form of. Yeah, so all that stuff. And then when people are getting trolled in the community, I the same things come to mind, which are they Bethlehem? Are they and is someone possessed? Is it an alien using someone's body to be fucking troll? And then we go and blame someone. But this is, if you're talking about other life forms and you're talking about things that are smarter than us, you guys are the ones that are saying, hold up your hands, let's send out peace with our hands, and we're gonna just together hold our hands up and we're gonna send out peace. So you're all the ones saying that things can be communicated mentally and sent out, energies can be sent out mentally. So to consider the fact that, well, maybe something is communicating mentally, it's not really shouldn't be out of anyone's realm of possibility. Otherwise, you're a fucking con. Because why are you? Let's just wish for peace. And then here's the other thing I wanted to say. Everybody, when you're saying, I want peace in Israel, or I want peace in Ukraine, I want peace wherever it is. I like how they pick and choose the names though specifically. It's like, well, why don't you wish for peace in Russia, wish for peace in Palestine, wish for peace on Africa, wish for peace in Asia. But anyways, let's get more specific with the wishes. What does peace mean to you? To all the Bethlehems out there that continue to ask Jesus Harold, let me wish for peace and send out peaceful energies to the planet. What does peace mean? Because this is what you continue to wish for. And I think there's a miscommunication between God, whoever it is, Jesus, that you're wishing to. Because what does peace mean? If we could all do this, if I was a teacher, I'd have you all write out, okay, what does peace mean? Now the next word. What does slavery mean? Is slavery peaceful? Yes or no? No, slavery is not peaceful? Okay, so let's wish that all the slaves are released. Instead of wishing for peace, because that's so vague, let's wish that the slaves are released from the cages here in 2026. At this very exact moment, we're going to wish that slaves are living freedom now. Okay? What does freedom mean? Is freedom peaceful? So, if we allow beings, humans, to live freedom in our own location, not Israel, not Palestine, not Ukraine, not Russia, not Africa, not Europe, not Asia, right here on the American continent, not Mexico, not Canada, right here on the American continent, we can release the slaves and things will be therefore peaceful. Because remember, slavery is not peaceful. And that's what you want across the planet. We want slavery. We want peace, you guys. So what do we want? If we want peace, we want freedom. And who do we want experiencing the freedom? the human mammal species, our fellow human mammal. We want them living freedom and experiencing freedom. Why? Because freedom is peaceful. And what did we just wish for? We continue to wish for peace. Peace here and peace there. So, what is slavery? Is forced free labor slavery? Well, what is forced free labor? What makes labor not free? And what makes labor not forced? Some sort of return. Well, at the moment, the return is the pixels on the screen adjust, you get ink on cotton. That's the return at the moment. So if you get your earnings, get to keep your earnings, then that's therefore freedom because you're getting a return. But when you're thieved 50% of your fucking income, then what is that called? You're being forcibly thieved of 50% of your income. And it's therefore slavery. So theft of earnings is slavery. Theft of earnings is not spreading peace. 50% is being forcibly thieved and then funding murder in Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine, murder in Israel and Palestine, murder in Iran, murder across the planet. That's the exchange at the moment. You go and force yourself to work at a location where you're going to get fucking trolled, and 50% goes to someone that doesn't even do what the fuck you want to do with your fucking earnings. Everybody, I would like you to imagine for a moment. Here's your bank account, right? All the money. Let's imagine you risk all your fucking money that you have all saved up. All your money is going to go into the biggest risk of your lifetime, the biggest investment risk of your lifetime. Whatever's in your bank account, whether it's millions, thousands, billions for some people, you're going to risk everything that you got. Is that too risky? Is that too risky of an investment to risk everything that you have ever earned? You're going to risk it all. Okay, that's probably a big number in your head or a big number in your account. That let me look at my account. Okay, I have $50 million. We'll say, damn, I'm going to risk $50 million, man, on something that you believe in, something that you believe in yourself to be doing. You're passionate about this thing, and it's going to require everything that you got, everything you got saved up. Too risky, right? A lot of people would say, I'm not going to risk that because I'm a millionaire. If I risk it all, I'm going to potentially become homeless, lose my mansion, lose my castle, whatever the fuck it is. So it's too risky to risk it all. Guess what, you guys? That number that you're looking at in your bank account that you can't afford to risk it all in something that you're passionate about, that number is supposed to be double. 38 point something plus 12 point something. It's supposed to be double the amount that you're looking at. And instead of you risking it on something that you're passionate about, instead of you getting to spend it on something yourself, a potential investment, someone else risked it all on murdering in various locations. And not just murdering in various locations, but slavery here. They built cages while Walt Disney built Disney's land in a castle in Disney's World. The government, who you're saying thieve more earnings to go give it to them, they built cages. How are they powering the cages? Well, they built solar farms when everyone thought, oh, this is going to save the planet. They used the state of the environment, the warm environment that we were enduring, as an excuse to put up solar farms that are murdering thousands of birds. And it's been up for over a decade now here in California. And what does the solar farm power? Cage locations. There's 2 million slaves in the USA. And then I looked it up. How large is Nevada? How many acres um, of Nevada belong to the federal government? 56,800,000 acres belong to the federal government. Now, Nevada was empty, and it's now known as Las Vegas. That's pretty much the only spot people go is Las Vegas. What was started by one random motherfucker, a mafia member. Does anyone know their name? Because everyone knows Las Vegas. A mafia member started Las Vegas. Nothing was out in the middle of the desert, and someone located a hotel out there, a bar and hotel and gamble, and now it's known as Las Vegas. California was empty. A random motherfucker said, let me call this Hollywood. I think it was actually Hollywoodville. But some random motherfucker comes out and says, let me call this Hollywood. Something that was vacant, empty, big empty fucking location, and now it's known as Hollywood. Where all the fucking movies are made, all the fucking big productions are going down. New York was a forest. And back in the day, I know this is getting really back there, but New York was a forest. Now it's a city of metal trees. So, random motherfuckers. None of those structures have ever belonged to the government. That subway station that everyone's far too scared to ride in right now, Central Station, that belonged to a private citizen, Cornelius Vanderbilt, who owned the railroads, which were also owned privately. And he built a big stone Central Station. They used to own the bridges. They used to own the railroads. They used to own the tunnels. And now that the government owns it, look what it has turned into. Central Station had some woman burned to death. Pretty sure it was Central Station out in New York. Something that this multi-billionaire, trillionaire, who was in control of the shipping industry, not just trillionaire on the imagination, but actually owns watercraft, railroads, trains, can offer people deals that I'm going to deliver for you, owns the bridges, can close down the bridge if he wants. So that's what they were able to do with the country. And then along the way, someone came about. I know everyone just loves these names. Roosevelt. Roosevelt, he was supposed to be vice president, but the president got assassinated. Roosevelt is president, and he said, you know what, I'm going to put an end to the gold mining. I'm going to put an end to the gold mining, and I want all this land to be federal land, and it's going to belong to the turtle. It is going to belong to the turtle instead of the human mammal species. And the red-legged frog out here in the Bay Area, we want red-legged frog and we want the homeless. We don't want billionaire and we don't want welder and we don't want people to have video games. We want red-legged fucking frog. It's the size of my pinky nail, and that's a real story. That they didn't build oil refinery because the red-legged fucking frog. Okay, why is Nevada empty? Because there is a turtle that walks around in the desert. It's mostly desert, but there's a turtle that walks around, and the government says, we got to protect this turtle. Just like out here, we got to protect that red-legged frog. Just these tweakers, you guys. It feels like everyone's a tweaker. And then Google, how do you even invest in some of these companies? Google came up with the genius idea. You guys, there's about 34 million mosquitoes across California and Arizona that are missing. There's 34 million mosquitoes that are missing, and we got to reintroduce the mosquitoes into the environment because the environment is lacking the mosquitoes. So we're going to release 34 million mosquitoes to no. How do you calculate that out and figure that out? For one, that you're missing 34 million mosquitoes across California and Arizona. Here's the benefit of the mosquitoes and why we need the mosquitoes around. Then you go and grow 34 million mosquitoes. Then you transport the mosquitoes from where you grew them to California and Arizona and release 34 million mosquitoes. Now, how do you think the mosquitoes disappeared? Let's see. Well, what happens in California every fucking summer? Every fucking summer, what happens in California, you guys? Fire, huh? Fire happens. Well, what do people use to repel mosquitoes? I'm pretty sure there's a candle thing, right? Isn't there a candle thing? There's a candle thing, you put it out and it repels the mosquitoes, or sometimes they have lights that you plug into the hot wire into your wall, because you guys all understand electricity. Plug it in, the wire is hot and it sends the heat through the thing, and that's going to release some mosquito repellent. And then you're going to breathe it in. Well, you know, you got to, or spray something on your body. You got to spray mosquito repellent on your body. So Google says we need 34 million mosquitoes, and this is the first year that I had a clusterfuck of mosquito bites directly on my knee through the sweats that I was wearing. I have one knee up, and I guess a mosquito just went fucking crazy on my fucking knee through my sweats, and clusterfuck mosquito bit my knee. And yeah, this is the first year, so it's like, okay, Google, so you want us all in, you want everybody in California in by 5 o'clock. We all got to be in by 5 o'clock. Don't do anything. This is going to fix everything, you guys. 34 million. Google has it figured out. Google company has this figured out. It's going to fix everything in California and Arizona. Because for about, let's see, I'm pretty sure they already released them in about April, May. So from April, May, June, July, August, September, October. One of these months are probably going to be a bunch of millions of mosquitoes that die. And then once we get the freezing cold fucking temperatures, there's probably going to be an additional multi-million that die because they were grown in an environment that is not a natural environment. These synthetically grown mosquitoes are not going to be acclimated to the freezing temperatures across the Sierra Nevada mountain range. They're not going to be used to the freezing temperatures in the Arizona desert, because it does get cold at night in the desert and it gets extremely hot during the day. I'm not sure if they do. How do mosquitoes eat? They suck blood. Well, what the fuck is in the desert? I don't know. I think there's a turtle. One turtle. Some stuff have fur. I don't know what's going to happen. They got figured out, you guys. That's what people's money went to go funding. That's what these genius college graduates went to go studying, the environmentalists. This is what the government says, fuck yeah, Google, go ahead and release 34 million mosquitoes on my fucking residence. As opposed to building a motherfucking resort fucking skyscraper, go ahead and fucking save the fucking environment. Just imagine the amount of time dedicated to having to figure out, here's what the mosquitoes are doing that's beneficial, and here's how we're going to grow and fucking release them. Here's where we're going to release them at. Here's the time of the fucking year that we're going to fucking release them at. It's going to solve everything. Problem solved. Here's the thing. That was the other thing. Well, one, there's fires. So that's probably going to take out a bunch of mosquitoes. There's also been extremely cold temperatures that the state hasn't experienced because of the drought that we've been in for the past 25 years. And there's also, during COVID, they sprayed the air to kill mosquitoes. So here's all the factors that you probably looked over and just went, well, the environment because the warming of the globe. And, you know, well, here's the things you missed out on. We sprayed for mosquitoes during COVID fucking 19. We've had multiple fucking vast fucking fires and we'll continue to have hundreds of fires throughout the summer because that's just how it is. Because your fucking overhead fucking wires can't be underground. A bird has to go fly the fuck into it. Okay. And then we got the freezing cold winter that's going to be probably happening again since California is now out of the drought for the first time in a quarter century. I don't know. I think those probably play a factor in the lifespan of a mosquito. When you go and spray the air to kill the mosquitoes, and when you have candles that repel the mosquitoes. These are the people that don't have money to give to anybody. Do you know any of the scientists, the researchers involved in any of that? The truck drivers? Does anyone know anybody involved in that? No. And you won't ever fucking know any of them. Probably don't even know what the CEO of Google looks like. And these are the people that won't ever figure out a way to help someone out financially. They won't ever figure out how to build fucking resort. You know, they'll figure out how to propagate a population of mosquitoes. But if you want to be a server and go serve celebrity at a fucking resort, you got to go locate yourself out in Europe. You got to go locate yourself out in Mexico. You got to go locate yourself out in Dubai. If you want to work here, you got to risk your life for $35 a fucking hour. And not even that, because that doesn't include commute. That doesn't include food. That doesn't include time dedicated. That doesn't include tickets. That doesn't include DUI, because you can't do cannabis because you got to pass drug tests. But you go fucking move to fucking France, or you go fucking move to fucking Mexico, and you can be the server at a resort. Your life is, let me wake up and I'm going to go to fucking resort and be bartender for fucking celebrity. Celebrities come out and pay you. But if you're here in the USA, you want to meet a celebrity, you got to pay not just a couple thousand, but thousands to potentially meet a celebrity for who knows how long. Or go move to Mexico, work at a fucking resort, and for weeks on end, they'll come out and pay to see you. They'll invest in your timeshare business out in Mexico, but you think if you start up a timeshare out here in the USA, they're going to be down to invest in a timeshare? Fuck no. You should be paying them to experience your timeshares, the attitude celebrities. But you go, well, let me just move to somewhere the fuck else. Okay, now I'll pay to see you. Now you're the one that's getting paid at that restaurant that they're attending to hold a plate for the celebrity and set it down in front of their fucking gullet. That's called job. That's job. Out in what was it even fucking called? I can't fucking remember the fucking name. Apple built something, instead of building something out in San Francisco, because of course the property taxes going to drive everything out. More taxes is actually less taxes. Isn't that funny? We need to charge them more property taxes here in San Francisco. Well, then what does the business do? Takes its business from San Francisco and moves it to the Bahamas. So more taxes is not more taxes, it's less taxes. And now we don't have jobs, so now you gotta have food stamps. And what was the business doing? Producing Invisalign. Enjoy your crooked teeth, America. Enjoy your crooked teeth, San Francisco, because Property taxes is far too high. We got to ask for more property taxes. So more taxes is actually less taxes. Isn't that funny? And I think we've been saying this for eons now. And then who's voting in the more taxes? Well, illegal 17.5 illegal motherfuckers from somewhere the fuck else. Who's living right next to fucking Disneyland? Millions of fucking illegal motherfuckers from somewhere the fuck else. People that are suicidal are killing themselves while what's the government doing? Letting mosquitoes go? Building cages, putting up solar farms that murder thousands of birds to now have to be torn down, preventing refineries from being built, preventing resorts from being built, driving businesses from San Francisco City into the Bahamas. What the fuck are you guys? What does anybody need any of them around for? But there's no option to say no. And nothing in that book says that taxes are a forced expenditure, but there's no option to say no. You're forced to be thieved of your earnings because socialist fucking Mexican came up here and voted for Nancy Pelosi to force everybody to be thieved of 50% of their fucking paycheck. To fund what? It's not a Disneyland. It's not a castle. It's not a Hearst Castle. It's not a Disney's World. What are they funding? And then here, the government is building the roads. Really? What's the government's company? Tell me the name of the company that the government builds roads with. Which military branch is building roads? No, they contract out. They go and hire private individuals that do asphalt to lay the asphalt. So nothing that you're talking about that, oh, this is the government. No, it's not the government. They contract people out. I'm pretty sure with the White House, that's being built by people involved in the military. I'm not sure though. I don't know. And if they are, it's probably a privately hired contractor through the military that, the military then gets caught up. Do you guys have anyone that knows how to be Freemason and work with stone? Land that was being given back in the day when they obtained the Louisiana Purchase, they gave out the land in, I'm pretty sure, 500-acre plots. And I think it costs like $1. Now, deflation, I'm not sure what the actual cost was, but I want to say some of it wasn't even at a cost. It was gifted out because they needed the land occupied at 500-acre plots. As you move westward across the USA, I'm pretty sure everyone was just able to stake the claim of here's where my plot of land is. And I'm not sure what the amount, I can't remember now, but I think it was either 100 acres or 500 acres. Same thing, but I don't think you had to purchase anything. I'm pretty sure it was go find your 500 acres and you get to claim it. But of course, people are functioning as their life together, and they were knowledgeable in things that we're not knowledgeable in now. So things that sound complicated now were not complicated back then. Just like reading a map, everyone knew how to exactly read a map. Now we need Google Maps, and some people have trouble with that. But people knew how to survey land. It was a big fucking thing back in the day to be a surveyor and go out and mark out the points of here's the next plot. And they use the ridges, they use the streams as markers for people, so you don't have to have a fence up. You can go, okay, the mountain range is the general area of my property line. The stream is the general area, the river. And if you look at the state boundary lines, they did the same with the states. That's why they're all kind of how they are is because it follows valleys and mountain ranges and bodies of water. And something just has to change, you guys, because when you're wishing for peace, communicating with something that's dead or another life form, and um, and reality, when you want to focus on the reality, um, in your own location, there's things to be done. If you want people to be released, there's 56,800,000 acres in Nevada alone, and there's 2 million USA citizen civilian slaves. And I calculated that out. 2 million into 56,800,000 is like 27 acres, point something. Well, is that over occupied? I'd say that's probably over occupied. Well, we still have Alaska. Well, Alaska has a bunch of gold on it. People want to mine the fuck out of it. Well, there's California. Same with California. People want to mine the fuck out of it. Does everyone need 28 acres, by the way? You think these people that a lot of them probably have mental issues, you think they need 28 acres? 1 acre sounds too small. You're putting people too close together. Does everyone have to be in one boundary line? If we have all these options, there's a whole bunch of empty locations. Texas is there's a lot of empty out there. I didn't do that one. Then, so here's the other options. Well, we don't want to put them in any of the state boundary lines because it's going to over occupy the location, whatever it is. And I also want to say no roads in and no roads out. And you put the locations up. It should look similar to how land looked back in the day, which if you watch Great Gatsby, there's a bunch of fucking land. You have a house that's located way the fuck back on the land. You go down your driveway, and everyone has space to be their own individual. No one's going to be in anybody's fucking inquietude because you're so far apart from each other. And that's how things used to be and should still be to this day. And there is land out there that's just, they won't allow people to have the land. So, okay, so everything we'll imagine is occupied. Well, where else is there land? Just beyond the Rio Grande, there's vast amounts of hundreds of miles of desert, all the way from Texas all the way to California, the Gulf of America, all the way to the Pacific Ocean. There's hundreds of miles of empty desert. And I looked up, well, how big is Mexico? Because you look at Mexico, it's mostly empty. It's 485 million acres plus some, 485 million, some thousands. Okay, well, we don't want to beef with Mexico. Maybe I'm not sure why we wouldn't use that as our option, because we need a space that's vacant is currently the location that is causing the invasion, the 17.5 million invasion. So we need it tamed and we need it occupied. How do we occupy 400, just millions of acreage? 485 million divided by 2, we'll say. Remember, Nevada, 56,800,000. Then you have another option, which I probably would not do this one, but Greenland is 535 million acres. So another location that's predominantly empty. But how do you keep people warm and people that are not used to the environment, people fed, all that stuff? Well, Mexico's right across the Rio Grande. Mexico touches both oceans. Both oceans have food swimming around in it. Waterway. There's a waterway divided through the center that could probably be dug wider in certain spots and allow ships to pass through it, allow trains to be built alongside it, and we can deliver the fuck out of everything to everywhere. And it's all right there. So when everyone's ready to stop going, let me wish for peace. Just gonna wish for peace. Here's what peace means. Peace does not mean slavery. Peace does not mean slavery. Then peace means freedom. And what do we need to do to experience freedom? We need to not have slaves. as a population, as a USA population, and as a species, you are not supposed to have slaves if you want to experience freedom and you want to experience peace. So that's all you have to wish for, that 2 million people get to go live on some acreage that you're not ever going to fucking be on. And it's not even going to affect your life in a negative way, actually. It'll affect it in a positive way because land is going to be getting tamed. People are going to be watching on fucking broadcasts. People that were living a miserable life, enduring poisonings, death, and destruction, and neglect, entire societal neglect, are now going to experience freedom. Why these are the impossible tasks, I don't know. You look at the planet and it's mostly empty, and then they say, well, these people are a danger to us. Well, then why do you have us all so fucking close together? How about you make the motherfucker wider, and I'm not ever going to see a motherfucker. They won't ever see me. Damn, that sounds so dope. Yeah, desert. Well, what could we do with desert? We could run some water lines and get some motherfucking plants going. And I'm talking about gardening. I'm talking about grass. Get this motherfucker cooled down. Actually cooled down. Actually focus on the fucking environment. Because plants do put off. They breathe out water. They absorb water. They absorb heat from the sun, and you touch the plant, it's still cool because it's absorbing the heat and turning it into energy, photosynthesis. And now that plant is not getting hot, it's getting taller, it's getting wider, it's breathing out oxygen and breathing in carbon dioxide. I'm telling you guys, college graduates with their degree figured out that the environment needs 34 million additional mosquitoes in California and Nevada. California and Arizona. It's going to solve it. The environmentalists figured out that the red-legged frog eats mosquitoes, by the way. And the red-legged frog is going to help control the bug problem. So we need the red-legged frog. We don't need someone with GameCube. We don't need someone financially situated in their life. We don't need college graduates. We need some fucking Mexican fucking illegal cunt to come up here and advocate in someone's fucking face, some indigent motherfucker's face, that more earnings need to be thieved from him to go fund the motherfucking Bahamas. We want Invisalign out in Bahama. All right, well, now that there's no property taxes, it should be affordable, right? Ooh, affordable for who exactly? Now let's define that here. Affordable for who, Bethlehem? People that probably have double bubble fucking paycheck. Oh, he keeps getting made fun of at school, at Sunday school. So can you guys help him out with his braces since everybody's giving so much money to you? Hold on, let me see. Now, if we run the location on daytime hours instead of run the lights, and what about summer? We'll do nighttime hours instead of day and turn off the AC. And now you have, yes, we can give your this charitable $4,000 donation to go fund the Bahamas. Hopefully everyone will be decent to your son after this. Judges don't know the information, cops don't know the information, the CIA, the FBI, the fucking Border Patrol. No one knows any of the information that I know. Each military branch, probably very few people that know some of the information that I know. And when the information is revealed, is there some big fucking black budget fucking delivery of fucking money? No. Is there a Tortuga negotiation with the DEA? I want a new money rug. I want a money rug right here. No catalog to look through, and just like everybody else who has $0, I get $298 a month for food, and then every 6 months they gotta ask me, "Do you still have $0?" And I still gotta say yes. I still have $0. Still do not have a car. I still do not have any artwork or investment related things that are earning any earnings. But it's all been revealed. And here's the video evidence. He's struggling financially and enduring some health issues. The other thing he said, he goes, I think I'm eating too much lettuce. I need to cut back on the lettuce, and I'm going to start eating differently because the lettuce is not working out for his digestive tract. He said he's absorbing too much of the lettuce, and all he shitting out is these tiny marbles. Here's what I want everyone to know is I'm sure he was taking some sort of vitamins or something like that, some sort of gummy vitamin, anything. That's what your body is not absorbing if you already have all the nutrients in your body that you need. If your body is filled with all the vitamins that it needs, then it's not going to absorb the vitamin supplement. It gets rid of anything that it doesn't need. So if you have an abundance of all your vitamins, then you're literally doing nothing if you continue to eat the vitamin. And it all depends on your diet. But if he's making a salad, you're probably going to be hitting mostly everything that you need. But I wanted to say salad is actually the opposite. You might as well say salad is a fiber, like a laxative, because salad, what you do is you eat the salad after you eat, or like an in-between kind of thing. Like say you ate something, then later on, then you eat the salad, because what the salad will do is do the fiber, because I think some of it is fiber, but the salad will allow your body to digest properly. But I think if you do it before, which a lot of people like doing it before, the only reason they serve salad first in the restaurants is because salad, they serve it with bread. I'm pretty sure salad and bread allow the stomach to open up, because like I said, it's like a fiber. It allows the stomach and digestive tract to open up. So now you're more hungry, even though you ate something and you think, oh, I'm going to be less hungry. Momentarily, you're more hungry, and now you're ordering the meal. So it's a little fucking trick here, and I'm not sure if people are aware of it, but business, that's just how people are. They want to move the product and whatever. But the actual way that you're supposed to be eating things is either only salad alone. You could probably go in there and have their whatever, the soup and salad. You have that alone, or you eat the meal first and then you can eat the salad after. So that's how people should be ordering their food in restaurants, serving the food is you serve them the food first, and then after that they bring you the salad. Now what you just did is much more healthy than the other way that you did it, because the other way that you did it, the salad is not going to do its thing about helping in a fiber way. it's also making your digestive tract a little bit larger than what you're used to, which now you're going to overeat, and it's going to be a lot harder to pass to digestive tract pass the meal that you just had, because you guys are all noobing it. You're all listening to the business motherfuckers. There's 4 different groups in the Divergent series: abnegation, amity, or something like that. What was it? Dauntless, and um, the honest. There's some honest one or something like that. Anyways, the one that is the honest ones are the business. Also happen to be the ones that are the business ones, and they think, I think in the first movie, that they're the ones that should be running the country, as opposed to the ones that are selfless and giving themselves to public service. The business ones say they're the ones that have this all dialed in. And then the farming ones are kind of out of it, but they're the ones that are happy all the time. And then there's the other one that is dauntless, which is the cops and I see it as the cops and the inmates. It's the same group, because they call them the police in the movie, but just because something's called police in the movie doesn't mean they're talking about the same word as police to this day. So, anyways, there's 4 groups, and people usually fall into that group. Um, there are divergents, which are part of all the different groups, and so just because a business is known to be honest at what point in time? Once you release the information, is it on every single fucking commercial that this is the information regarding business? So the businesses pretty much, I feel like, have the best intention for themselves, for the business, because that's what they're about. So how are you going to do things that you're seeing is the best for yourself? Maybe at one time it was one way, maybe it will someday be a little bit different. But maybe at one time people were a lot smaller too, and they wanted the population to be a little bit larger. It could be things like that going into it. And the studies, they just hung around, and a lot of people don't know about them. But that's one of the things they do. Another thing they do is with the pricing, they like to put 99, because 4 sounds less than 5. And subconsciously you're like, oh, $4. Well, it's $4.99, which is actually probably like 5 something. But yeah, so those are the things that maybe at one time it worked, but I'm not sure how well these things work when you're aware of the things that they're doing. Yeah. And to have people, I don't know, when you have an abundance of something, and here's your population can live one lifestyle, because when you're out and about, when you're walking outside of your mansion perimeter, what do you want to experience? Do you want to be walking around, it's a big fucking shit show around you? Or do you want to be walking around and everyone's living in a castle? Here's your options. You can be, which one do you feel safer in? Which one sounds more fun to be a part of as a nation? And so you want to be around a bunch of motherfuckers that are struggling, they're all in an argument, or should we maybe let motherfuckers get some of the things that they want? Because everyone's limited on the space, and if that's something people want, then you gotta give them more space. Well, how do we give them more space? Well, they already took 50% to spend on guns and bombs, so use that amount to go get the space that we want as a nation. Now, a lot of people don't know what they want. Do you want to be safe? Do you want to continue surviving? Okay, well then this is what has to be done to be safe and continue surviving. Here's what, do you want to thrive or do you want to um, dwindle out of existence? Well, then here's what needs to be done to thrive. And do you want to be happy or do you want to be sad? If you say you both want, yes, I want to continue to live, but you're also part of the invasion, I believe you do not realize, and you're female, you don't realize that you're suicidal. And if you're a male, you're suicidal on a country level. You don't care if the fucking nation dies. So a lot of these people that are out there supporting the invasion, most of them should probably be in the psych ward, not on the street. I'm not saying because of um, because of their political alignments or whatever. I'm saying because you are this female and this location is doing femicide and you support the invasion, then that would tell me you are suicidal and you should be checked in the psych ward. To the males out there that are straight, so you're straight, right? Do you want to continue your existence with someone, another being that you love, a female that you love? If you want that, then why would you be letting other males into the country? And the males don't have good intentions. So not only are they going to potentially murder the females, but rape them and also be the additional competition in various forms. Because now who's going to get blamed whenever male does something? Fucking invasion being fucking male. Well, it just gets grouped into the males of the USA are just assholes. Turns out it's a fucking invasion being. Um, and then, so you think everyone is just so happy when they lose a significant other, someone that they're in love with? How rare it is to find someone that you're in love with and they're in love with you back. You think that they're all just really happy when someone's now dead. The one person that they found that loves them back is dead. Okay, what's going to happen to this person? Do they commit suicide? Do some of them commit suicide? Just like Romeo and Juliet? Okay, then. So we can also probably say for about 90% of you protesters that you are too suicidal. The remaining 10%, the lesbians, the gays, the trans, are you aware of the fact that they're Christian and Catholic? The invasion beings are Christian and Catholic. I know it says on paper that they're Democrat, but the Democrats are also Christian and Catholic. So to the gays out there, the lesbians, the trans, are you aware of the fact that they are Christian and Catholic? Now, what do Christians and Catholics do to you when you're gay? What do the Christians and Catholics do to you when you're trans? And what do the Christians and Catholics do when you're lesbian? So to the remaining 10%, I believe we can also conclude you too are suicidal. We don't need more jails. We need more fucking psych wards. That's what should be done. Is once they're released, open up the fucking them as psych wards and take about 99% of the USA population remaining, and tell them that the Bethlehem is not the book of law from you. This is the book of law. And once you understand that, you will be released from the psych ward. Do you understand? Do you understand? because I got nothing but time. And that's it. Not even a 3-day hold. Upon understanding, you could be released. All I need is a verbal confirmation. Do you understand that this is the book of law and this is the beings that we wish for wishes from? And the God that we're in communication with is the one that they're talking about, not the one in Asia, in another country, from another leader. That was another thing I found out too, you guys. Here's a big revelation. What does the H in Jesus H Christ stand for? What does the H stand for? To sin to say Jesus H Christ. It's a sin to do that. Well, what does the H mean in Jesus H Christ? At the time, you guys, so some people think it means herald. That was just a theory, though, I believe. I'm not sure if it is or isn't. But what does the H stand for? Because people do use letters to represent something. Some people thought it was holy. Jesus, holy Christ. At the time, who was the leader in Bethlehem? Because he's just a baby. So some baby is born. And who is the leader in Bethlehem? Does anybody know? Because a baby is not leader. Who is the leader in Bethlehem? Heralded. Heralded. Harlid. Heralded. So, do you think that the Bethlehems like their leadership? Or do you think maybe they're ready for a new leader? And everyone has already done something fucked up, huh? Well, how do you get a new leader? So, this heralded heard about Jesus H. Christ being born and immediately saw it as a threat to the current country and leadership because, for whatever reason, the village that he was around began worship or, speaking highly of him, whatever, saying these things about him like he's the leader. And the leader's sitting there. Remember, there's king and queen leadership sitting there going, well, why are they treating this guy like he's the leader when I'm the leader? And there's no voting, nothing. That's all this book of law. That's this location. So there's no voting, nothing. Remember, that's not legal. It's legal here. USA, not Asia, not Bethlehem. It's not legal to fucking just put a fucking leader in when you got a fucking king sitting there, heralded sitting there. Why are you talking about this dude like he's the leader when clearly I'm the king, I'm the leader? So what do you think the H was for? Why would you name someone H? Well, what's the future gonna think? What will the future think? How can we tell the future that yes, he was the leader? How are we gonna cover up the fact that heralded is not the leader? Or is the leader? H. And then we'll tell the future that it is Harold. One letter. That's how they used to spell his name, but now they spell like this. Without the I. That was ancient Greek. Ancient Greek lettering in Latin. So we don't have I in current English language, so does anyone go by their middle name? Has anyone ever gone by their middle name throughout your life? Your name is this, but my middle name is that. People call me my middle name. Here comes Leader Harold. Harold. Now, whose laws are in violation to be getting people locked up? What book of law are you violating when you go get locked up? Does it sound like the okay, he did the 21st bill, so lock him up. Okay, he did the second bill, so lock him up. He did the first bill, so lock him up. What else? He's really scary, and I want to pursue happiness. So lock him up. Hate. He's hate. You're not allowed to be hate. You're supposed to be happy. So lock him up. Man, I'm happy when I'm hating though. Because think of how many lives I saved just by being hateful. They had everyone convinced. They had everyone convinced that if you say one single country name, one single word, then the blacks will fucking beat you down and murder you sometimes. You say one country name, one single word. No issues here. And I think the experiment has gone on for long enough. So, by saying hate, I think I just proved to everybody that what we're watching is a fucking bunch of bullshit. It's some fucking simp for the fucking Nazism. Fucking simp. Some fucking Bethlehem that cannot endure words is here telling everyone that they're USA when in the USA you don't censor yourself. But don't ever say, saying his name is actually a sin. You say his full name. Don't ever say it. Why don't ever say it? You say Jesus Christ. Don't ever say it with the H, you guys. Just these continued revelations about them. They want peace. Okay, break down for everybody what peace means. Get very, very specific here. And does it sound like it's peaceful in the USA? If that's if no, then let's start with here. Let's wish for here, and then once here is fixed, maybe other places will just fix themselves because we get to be the example. But how can we ever know that if we don't fix here? If we fix somewhere else, is there going to be a here? Because everyone's going to move to where it's fixed. So do you really want peace somewhere else? Do you think people really know what they fucking want?
This is the sound of Claire cooking dinner at home. And that's the sound of a frog alert.
What I want is some fucking orange soda.
Considering Claire isn't in Paris right now, that seemed odd. To the bank and to Claire. 2 taps later, Claire says nope to the charge. Wells Fargo is on the case. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work.
If only it had caffeine.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Here was something I figured out for a lot of the people out there. I was going, man, I'm trying to cut back on my eating. If I water fast, I lose the weight. But once I go back to eating, you're going to put all that weight of the food into your abdomen. I'm going, something's going on here because I can't put all the food that I want into me and be energized throughout the day. Even if I have caffeine, and if I have an abundance of caffeine, it's either too much or my digestive tract is so shrunk up, I can't sleep, all this stuff. So what do you do about that? And then I tried, well, let me try ice cream. Let me try cereal. Let me try milk. No, because it's dairy. Multiple reasons why it's a big fucking no. Big fucking weight gain. What I discovered though, all this sugar, all this um, sodium, water, caffeine sometimes, it's all jammed into one little can here. And this one little can is all already liquefied, ready to flow through my fucking veins. And sugar is energy. Uh, Salt helps you keep your water in, so it's going to help keep this liquid in me. Caffeine is energy. And guess what, you guys? It's calories too. So you do this, and it gets sent through your body. Now, what I ate is throughout my body, as opposed to one something sitting in my digestive tract there, not doing anything. Not doing anything other than adding weight to me and taking a while to break down, because it does take a while to break the solids down. Your digestive tract has to do it, whereas with this, it's all broken down, ready to be absorbed. So I just ordered the fuck out of some fucking liquids. Rockstar, NOS, Pepsi, Arizona, Sunkist, and I'm gonna do even more next month. But it worked out. It was a big risk. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna really spend a whole bunch of money on some soda right now. But I had this epiphany. And oh, the other thing is, some of them are not the amount of calories, so I kind of kept that in mind. Rockstar Recovery is only 25 calories, but it doesn't have the fake sugar, I don't think. I think it has, yeah, like the regular sugars. And the Pepsi I got is only 30 calories. And same thing, no fake sugar. And it has prebiotic. Prebiotic, I think, helps, I don't know, absorb. I'm not sure. Prebiotic and probiotic, it has something in it. And then the NOS has the inositol, which I wonder if the body is lacking a vitamin or a nutrient, then it will stay hungry until you give it that vitamin or nutrient. That's why a lot of times it's good to take a vitamin prior to shopping at a store or something, because sometimes you'll buy the wrong stuff. You might be lacking a nutrient and then craving something. You only needed a little bit of what's in that whole product that you're grabbing. And had you had your vitamins to the max, then you'd know, okay, I'm actually craving this, not this. So vitamins do have their purposes, and you just got to keep in mind if you have been hitting different spots of your what's available. But if you're lacking something, then your body's going to continue to be hungry until you get the thing, whatever it is that it's lacking. So maybe there's nutrients out there that people don't know are a nutrient for the body. So one of them for me, I would say, I think alcohol is a nutrient. I think caffeine is a nutrient. I think inositol is a nutrient. And I think cannabis, the THC or whatever you want to call it with cannabis, is also a nutrient. And if you have the different nutrients that the body has been used to having, maybe inositol is different. Maybe they had it. I don't know. They sound pretty smart back in the day. Oh, and that was the thing. The reptilians told people, I guess this is the story, that the reptilians told people, if you worship us as your gods, then we'll give you information. We're going to give you knowledge, things that we know about that you don't know about, and all you have to do is worship them as gods. And so people started worshiping the aliens as gods, and they were being given certain technologies and informations that they didn't know about. So who knows what they had, and who knows if they're calling the same things the same word. Maybe there was another word for inositol back in the day, because they did have concoctions of, here's some oil that you rub on you, and it's gonna do certain things, and stuff that they were saying will keep you alive if you get bit by a snake. And who knows if it was real. A lot of it they said were people were being called cons. But you never know. Maybe people thought they were conning, and it turns out the product actually was working. Um, and you just can't tell everybody that here's the recipe, so you got to just make it sound like it's fake. But really, you just got conned into surviving cancer. Yeah, they had different things though that they said were medications and stuff. Some of it was, I know they had cocaine, and so they had cocaine in sodas and different things. They used to have Novocaine eventually, I believe, for dentist work and stuff. But I'm just saying they did have stuff, and it wasn't just what you see now, which is like Tylenol and all that. No, they had they had opium. They had a whole bunch of alcohol. Um, the sodas, caffeine. They had the fucking cocaine. They had cannabis. What else? Oh, tobacco and nicotine. Um, and I don't think they'll ever know exactly all the stuff they had. I'm just saying, whatever things that they did have available, the opium and stuff, they did have mixtures of things that they would put together and say, if you take this, it's going to be dope, whatever. Meth wasn't invented until I think World War II or World War One. Acid wasn't invented until like 60s, 1960s. Um, they had DMT, and they had salvia. I think they had mushrooms. They had peyote. Um, what else? They didn't have, what was that, MDMA, but they did have the trees. So maybe they had something with that stuff in it. But the actual pill or whatever the fuck it is now, they didn't have, I don't think, that exactly. But the trees were around. I guess it requires a tree to make what's in the MDMA. Um, I heard now people are getting high on snake venom. There's different snake venoms, and they got a snake and they put the venom into a vial. And I guess if you take a low dose, a very low dose of the snake venom, then you won't die, but you get some sort of high from it, and it can do all this stuff. So I heard out in like, I don't know, I think it's like out in like the Arab nations, and I think I've heard of it in Israel too, that it's out there too. But um, yeah, you can get high from snake venom, and I think someone else said there's a spider venom to get people high, but I'm not sure if that one's real. Um, but it is. They're saying it's illegal, but there's no way to test that it's in your system. And what was it? Oh, they said that when you take it, you're risking dying because if you take too much, it's a venom.
At Massage Envy, your me time is all about you. Try a relief massage that alleviates everyday aches and pains, or a relaxation massage that lets you simply unplug and unwind, or treat your skin to a results-driven facial focused on a specific skin need like fine lines, blemishes, uneven-looking skin tone, dullness, and more. Whatever you need to feel and look your best, you'll find a service designed to help. Book an appointment at massageenvy.com today. Each location is an independently owned and operated franchise.
The other thing I was thinking about is it seems like the Bethlehem Book of Law works out really well for anyone that has wealth. The Bethlehem Book of Law is just like perfect for these people they have wealth, but they're not the wealthiest ever, but they have some sort of wealth. They don't know what to do with the wealth. They're not an investor. They don't know what to do at all with the wealth. It's just sitting in a bank. Well, this location gives them the opportunity to do something with that wealth, which is donate to. We're going to, build this. This structure gets to be built. Here's what it feels like to do something with your wealth other than visit a restaurant or go on vacation. This is what it's like. You got to teach these people, rich people, what I call them. I'm at zero, so you got to teach rich people. This is what it's like when you give away your money. Mostly government workers too. This is what it's like, you guys. You just got to give away your money. Now you did it here. You did it in this location. Now try to do it somewhere else for someone else. But let's leave it in the USA. Actually, let's leave it within our city. Let's really get dialed in here. And when you get double, because everybody is allowed to do the drugs that they want to do with their body, and drugs are in drugstore. When everyone gets to keep double, just think of how much you could give away and you still have an additional 10-30% that you didn't used to have. And the 20% that you gifted away is funding fun and freedom, as opposed to murdering someone that wants to therefore murder you back now. So now it's you know what I'm saying? It's like it could all just exponentially build upon itself. But we're constantly, well, let's murder someone out here. Well, why are we getting attacked? Because he just murdered people. We gotta get him back. Oh, you hit us too hard. Now we gotta respond. But we just responded to what you responded to. Yeah, I know. Now we're gonna respond back. Well, then I'm gonna respond back. Okay, you want to respond back? I'm just gonna respond again. Go ahead, because I'm gonna do the same thing. Fucking 4 months later of that. I'm out of everything. Yeah, I'm out of everything too. Let's just tell everybody that we agree. All right. Everybody, we agree. Woo! Our leaders are peaceful. So peaceful. He's both Bethlehem and he's peaceful. This is just the best. See how I ended that one? It's all over. It's all over. He's gonna go down to history. Got to go through my thing real quick here. All right, well, there's all the things that could be done to spread peace. Hopefully you psychically wish for it. If that doesn't work, we can go ahead and flick a wrist. Flick a wrist, sometimes you gotta make your finger go like this. Boom. All the threats are eliminated. Everybody's happy. Everyone keeps everything that they've ever earned.
Prime Day is June 23rd through the 26th. These deals are so good. Whoa, I think I'm breaking into some big deals on hand mixers, TVs, and headphones.
Shop epic deals this Prime Day.
I think I'm gonna end. Let me feel my phone real quick. Oh yeah, I gotta end this, and then I'm gonna start up the Fortnite. My other phone.